Hello, welcome to this update for North America. Let's see what's happening with this heat wave in some parts of the southeast and the plains, and also some severe weather and tropical stuff. So, we have this heat dome this weekend across parts of the southeast, and into the plains, the Midwest. Next week, they'll have a lot of humidity plus some very high temperatures. So we are watching this closely because the heat indices in these areas this week might get high, especially because of the humidity. Many areas are like 99%, 98%, so there's a lot of humidity with this air mass, sometimes slightly lower, but still a lot of humidity in a few areas, especially during the night. So let's take a look at the heat indices of the European model, and then we'll check the actual temperatures. So here for Friday, today, the 18th, shows like uh, during the day now shows higher across spots of Mississippi into Arkansas, more spots there to like 100, 101, some heat indices. This goes during the night less, but tomorrow, Saturday, already shows like spots in the southeast to 100, well above 104 in Florida, some heat indices in Texas as well. Saturday afternoon, and also spots of North South Carolina into Southern Virginia, and some 90s hitting the season the plains. So this goes during the night slightly less, but still like in the late afternoon there in the plains, close to 104, and then it goes down during the night. But Sunday afternoon is already showing to like 106, 105 heat indices in the southeast. This could be higher. Some models were showing close to 110, some different models. So there's like in Texas, in the plains as well, close to 100-degree heat indices. So please drink a lot of water and like stay cool during the night less, but still some 80s and 70s. And Sunday to Monday, especially Monday, this already Monday shows already in the plains close to 100, hitting the spots of the southeast like to 107, the Carolinas still, spots of Florida 105, 104, 99. So stay safe in this heat and humidity. Be careful. More spots to the south, like Texas, 100, 102, and then still in the late afternoon around the plains and more areas. And then Tuesday, the 22nd shows creeping further into the Midwest to like 108 in southern Missouri, 104, still in Georgia and Florida, Mississippi, very high. So be careful. Even try like 110 hitting this is possible, like Tuesday afternoon in Nebraska and Iowa. So it's just one model and it's a possibility, but it's possible. So be careful. And but by Wednesday next week, it's parts of the south into the Midwest, well above 106 hitting this is. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. There's the herd too, but it just goes until Sunday. So let's see here if it loads. So especially for today, Friday and Saturday. So this afternoon, Friday shows into like 105 spots of Arkansas into North South Carolina, Florida. So already very hot in those areas. Stay safe. The heat indices this goes even to like 107 in Arkansas. So this goes during the night less, and then as we go into Saturday afternoon to like 107, 206 in Georgia, South Carolina, spots of Arkansas, Missouri, still like 105 in Florida. This goes, and especially like also showing across Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas, more than 100 hitting this is. So stay safe in those areas. Saturday, then Sunday morning does decrease, And then, but this only goes until Sunday morning, doesn't go until Sunday afternoon. So let's see, like the icon is good as well. So the show here if it loads. So Friday today is already showing that this afternoon like 105 in the southeast in Arkansas as well. The heat indices. Saturday as well, especially across Florida, Georgia, all the way to North Carolina, spots of the plains. Sunday might be the hottest day, like to 105, 104 from North Carolina to Florida, spots of Georgia, Louisiana, Texas. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful of this heat. So the actual temperatures are just in the 90s, like 96, 94, 95, and you just saw the heat indices now. It's like 105. So the temperatures, the actual temperatures, are much lower than that. So it's because the humidity and everything. So be careful. But the temperatures across Texas, Oklahoma are close to 100 in the southwest as well. This afternoon, Friday, shows also during the night slightly less, especially in the north and northwest. But still, like some 80s in Arizona during the night, some 70s in the southeast. So stay safe. Saturday, close to 97 in Georgia. 98, 99, but you just saw those 107 heat indices there that I showed you, and in the plains it's close to 102 in Kansas, Texas, and those areas. So be careful. The southwest is still to 106, 107. The actual temperatures in some 90s is scared in parts of the west. So be careful. And then during the night until Sunday morning, until Saturday morning, because this is inverted here. So show like Saturday morning in the northwest, some 50s, 60s, nothing too crazy, but in the south still hot and humid. So be careful. And then Sunday afternoon still shows some 99, 98 in Florida and Georgia, spots in the plains to 101, even to 103 in northern Oklahoma, 107, 206 in the southwest, more spots in Texas. So stay safe. Then there's still Sunday morning, slightly hotter in the south, and especially 70s right around that heat dome in the northwest, doing better. And then there's Monday afternoon, some more 100s in the plains, which 104 or even higher. So be careful in the southeast still, and the southwest still some 100s. So stay safe. There's they force some 70s during the night and like even to 85 Monday morning in Arizona, the minimum temperatures and the maximum temperatures to 104 Tuesday afternoon. So stay safe, 105, even to 103 in the plains or even higher. So 90s already into the Midwest. So stay safe. And Tuesday morning does show some 50s in the Rockies, some 40s, the high elevation, some 70s in the southwest, some 80s, some 70s in the plains Midwest during the night. During the day on June 23rd, Wednesday, the show still to 104, 101, some 90s in the Midwest, close to 100, even in Louisiana, Mississippi, the Southwest. So stay safe. Those temperatures still Wednesday morning slightly better, but still some minimum temperatures in the 70s and 80s. And that does show Thursday the 24th in the afternoon, some 108 in the southwest, some 90s on the west, and still more than 103 in the plains. Some 90s across the Midwest and southeast. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. That heat does show the severe weather today for Friday as two slight risks across parts of North Carolina, Virginia, and also in the plains to the Midwest. So there's a 5% tornado threat, spots of Iowa into Minnesota, spots of South Dakota and Nebraska. So be careful. It's quite elevated in those areas and the 2% around the true. So stay safe. Yesterday's 30, we had a 5% in the Northeast. So be careful, wind 15% in both slight risk and 5%. The 5% goes all the way from Nevada to the Atlantic, a very big marginal risk. And hail, especially in the plains, be careful, some larger hail. Scared severe thunderstorms, large hail, damage winds, and a few tornadoes are possible across parts of the Corn Belt in Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and South Dakota this evening to tonight. Scared damage winds possible in Virginia, northern North Carolina this afternoon. So stay safe in those areas, and a bigger slight risk for Saturday across the Midwest from Iowa to New York State. So a marginal from Montana to New York. So wind 15 and 5%, especially the slight risk, and just 5% hail. So be careful, some damaging winds, and 2% tornado threat around the Midwest in those areas. So be careful. Strong thunderstorms, including one or two organized clusters, are possible across southern portion of the Great Lakes region, adjacent portion of the Ohio Valley, Saturday into Saturday night, with more widely scattered strong thunderstorm development across northern Rockies to the adjacent high plains. So stay safe for Saturday, day 2. Day 3, this marginal risk from Montana to Massachusetts and some general thunderstorms. So scarce strong thunderstorm development pose a risk for at risk some severe wind and hail. The mid-Atlantic to Missouri Valley and Ohio Valley Sunday into Sunday night. So be careful in those areas, and there's still this light risk until 12Z. So there's the fires, some elevated western Oregon, some dry thunderstorms in Idaho and Nevada possible, northern Utah. So be careful, still some elevated in the northwest for Saturday. So stay safe. Shows today there still some showers and storms in North Dakota to Minnesota, and the actual slight risk today for those severe storms later in the evening in Iowa and to Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota show some stronger cells there, some possible hail, damage winds, tornadoes. So be careful, and then this goes and by Saturday shows this line of storms. Potential strong MCS in the Midwest, and that's slight risk on Saturday. So better watch this closely. So be careful, and a few other storms scared. So it does show those ones in Virginia, North Carolina too, and a few scared storms in the south. So stay safe. It also shows this evening's scared storms in the interior mountains. Nothing crazy, just be aware. And it does show those gusts, those storms, especially later there in Iowa, those areas, and tomorrow that line of storms. So there's max wind gusts to see it better. Shows like as this line goes into the Midwest, some stronger gusts, 50 to 60 mile per gust, and even a spot in Nebraska closer to 75, and might be locally higher in a few spots like these reds here shows this is kilometer per hour, this is not mile per hour. So yeah, stay safe. Their escape shows this afternoon, especially peaking in Nebraska, close to 4,000 joules per kilogram, 3,000 to 2,000 Iowa. More spots there, and that shows some cape ahead of those storms, the Midwest tomorrow. So more energy. Stay safe, and there's here the precipitable water amounts possible. There in the Gulf, it's still like to some very high precipitable water because of Invest 93W, 93L that already dissipated. So it didn't even become anything, just brought some heavy rain to spots to the south. But these precipitable water levels are still very high in the Gulf. So still be careful with flooding. And these dew points this afternoon are slightly higher, closer to 60s or low 70s spots of Iowa and to Nebraska, those areas. So stay safe as well. There's the heat risk here too. So like some major in the southeast today, Saturday more major in those areas, close to extreme in a few spots, major in Arkansas, Missouri. Sunday, some extreme heat risk in Georgia, Florida, south, and major into South North Carolina. More areas. Monday, more into the plains in the south, still some extreme heat risk in the southeast. Tuesday, major to extreme in the south and Midwest. Wednesday, further up into the Midwest. In the south, major to extreme. And Thursday, next Thursday, still some major to extreme heat risk. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful until 12Z. Still a slight risk in the south. It was a moderate yesterday because still shows like yeah July 18th. So you will see right now, but still some areas of heavy rain until 12Z. But day one is a moderate risk around Virginia once again because a few days ago we had the flood in New York and New Jersey there, but that was further north. This moderate risk is thankfully further south, not in those areas again, but still a marginal risk, southern New Jersey. But please be careful on Virginia into West Virginia because they did have a lot of flooding this year, and there's this slight risk across those areas too, slight in the Gulf and the Midwest in those storms, and also in Nevada, there into Utah, spots in New Mexico, slight risk. So stay safe, stay away from floods, be careful. Day two, kind of the East Coast, Midwest, slight risk, some flash flooding. Day three, still the northern plains, Midwest. Day four, the Midwest. Day five, the Southwest and parts of the plains, and all the way to the Southeast. So be careful this rainfall. Day one through seven shows more across Florida, spots of the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic, still slightly heavier in southern Louisiana. So still safe, stay safe in those areas and be careful in those storms. And in terms of tropics, still nothing, nor in the Eastern Pacific. It has dissipated. But towards the end of July into early August, we are seeing some possible tropical waves form up. So the European ensembles until the first week of August already shows like some members right in the main development region with possible things. It's still very low support, but it's already something, slightly more support than a few days ago. One of them goes all the way into the Gulf, but most of the members stay around the Central Atlantic. So we'll keep watching those areas, but definitely something to watch later in the month. And here still shows the rainfall accumulation. Those areas slightly more Central American to Costa Rica and Nicaragua, like 100 millimeters in Costa Rica, especially on the East Coast, Nicaragua. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful with flooding too. And across Mexico, those storms in the North America monsoon, especially western, northern Mexico as well, and southern Mexico. So always be careful with some flash flooding and strong storms possible. And same thing for Central America and the Caribbean, some showers and a few afternoon storms. So be aware that just those evening afternoon storms in a few portions and slightly more rainfall activity further in the southeastern Caribbean, some 42 millimeters, Trinidad and Tobago, a few other spots in Grenada, St. Lucia, a few showers and storms. Nothing too crazy because the big thing is still further away in the Atlantic, but still a few passing showers and storms possible. And if I put it until August, it doesn't increase that much, but it does show like right to 70 millimeters. But the worst stays further south in the Atlantic, but does increase a lot in Central America until August 1st. But that's too far. Let's not look at that. So be aware in those areas. And for Canada, does show in Alberta, Saskatchewan, some more storms, like some 77 millimeters, some 86 millimeters, some more storms until next Wednesday, next 5 days. And some more rain in Eastern Canada too. Most of Eastern Canada, some rain except Southern Nova Scotia. And in Ontario, Southern Ontario, few storms and especially southwestern Canada, some more storms. So be aware in those areas, especially because this time of year they can have some gusty winds and hail. So stay safe. And there's this system in Labrador now, more rain and some storms in Newfoundland. So and that goes away into the Atlantic. And be careful, still those storms around central southern Canada. So stay safe. Those temperatures are a little bit better across Canada than the US, but still hot in a few areas. Like there's this portion of central Canada, some mild to hot temperatures, and still cold further northwest. The southeast is in the 20s, it's better, but this goes shows during the night in the Western Rockies slightly less, but does increase Saturday afternoon during the day. Sunday does start getting closer to southern Canada, that heat, but still some 28 central Canada. Then Monday afternoon in Ontario, Manitoba, slightly warmer. Then Tuesday afternoon, slightly warmer, southern Manitoba, slightly colder in Nunavut. So like Tuesday night, spots in the Western Rockies, slightly colder, but nothing too crazy. Then Wednesday, Thursday, by the end of next week, starts heating up more southern Ontario. So be aware in those areas, and let's see if there's anything important for the storm. So the show, uh, today's Friday, not Thursday. So here Friday shows spots of Alberta, some stronger storms, and spots of Saskatchewan to Manitoba. In area C, southernmost Alberta even shows a tiny tornado threat and some hail, some large hail too, so be careful. And then shows in Ontario for that's still Thursday, so day two, just a storm or two, central Ontario. Day three, possibly more into Saturday, southern Ontario, some damaging winds and hail from that line in the US. So this was yesterday there in Quebec, those storms, but today just a finger to central Quebec. So be aware. This was issued Friday. So let's see, night one. So this is actually for day one because yesterday you saw those storms in the northeast. There was the 5% tornado threat in the northeast. So when I first looked at this, I thought it was for Thursday yesterday, but this is actually, they said this is valid. This is issued Thursday, Thursday for Friday. Yeah, so this was Thursday. But that's weird because they don't have a forecast for today. They only have for Saturday because valid Saturday for Sunday. So yeah, just ignore this. They don't have it for Friday. But yeah, be be careful. The storms there. And but today, Friday, it's that low pressure system that triggered the severe storms yesterday is already in Labrador there. So this goes and throughout today, not really any storms in Quebec, just it's there in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and tomorrow, Saturday, there in Ontario. So be aware those areas for snow, maybe extreme northern Quebec into Labrador, and like maybe a finger or two in the Rockies, but very, very, very few. And it shows there in Alaska, finger or two, and like extreme northern Quebec, maybe. But the GFS is like the GFS shows a pocket in Nunavut and something in Quebec of snow, but the Europeans completely different. So maybe a finger or two in those areas, but nothing too concerning. And the wind is slightly stronger than Labrador now because of that system. But Friday, this does increase in Atlantic Canada this afternoon, and this goes into Greenland. But yeah, stay safe. Sometimes a gusty wind or two in a few areas the western US, but like nothing that crazy. Just like some 40 miles per hour a day or two from next week, but no major wind event, just those severe storms. So stay safe in those areas.